In this video today, we're going to talk about the negative effects of conference realignment.
Breaking news here on CBS Sports: the University of Oklahoma and the University of Texas formally issued a request to join the SEC.
UCLA and USC are moving to the Big Ten.
Nebraska is moving to the Big Ten.
The University of Missouri is officially the 14th university in the Southeastern Conference.
Southern Methodist University is making the leap to the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Again, you want to talk about geography not mattering. You just got a team from Palo Alto and Berkeley.
Wow.
To go to the Atlantic Coast Conference. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Alright, so over the last 20 years, universities have started to focus more on joining conferences as a planned move for their schools, and not just to beat others. While changing conferences has brought in more money and helped these schools gain more attention nationally, it has also broken up way older conference setups that are based on local competition, long-time rivalries, and steady ways of finding new players to recruit and gain. So these changes have greatly changed the way and the world of college football how it is today. Although people often look at conference changes based on how much money they make and how respected the school becomes, the actual impact on these football teams is much more complicated. Changing which conference a school is in can change how tough the competition is, how easy it is to find new players, how much traveling is needed, and what the team's identity is. And I mean, for some schools, conference realignment has been great. For example, Arizona State joined the Big 12. Well, they won the Big 12 in their first year. Texas joined the SEC, and they made the SEC championship and the college football playoff. And SMU, moving up from the group of 5 to the ACC and making the ACC championship game in their first year and also making their first college football playoff. So for some schools, it's been great. But there is a reason I'm making this video. For other schools, it hasn't been so successful. So in this video, we're going to look at why each school left its old conference, why they joined a new one, and what happened to their football program in the long run. So the first school we're going to talk about today is the good old Nebraska Cornhuskers. In 2011, Nebraska left the Big 12 conference for the Big 10, and it was mainly, okay, I'll be honest, it was basically because of UT. During the late 2000s, the Big 12 faced repeated realignment threats, many of which were centered completely around the Longhorn Network and Texas' growing influence on the conference. You see, Nebraska administrators expressed a lot of concern that the Big 12 lacked equal media revenue sharing and that one program, Texas, wielded a lot of control over the conference decisions. And you see, that's where the Big 10 swooped in. The Big 10 offered Nebraska equal revenue sharing, institutional alignment through the Big 10 Academic Alliance, and what appeared to be long-term financial and structure stability. And I mean, when you put it like that, it sounded like a no-brainer for Nebraska. They wanted to leave the Big 12 because of stability, and they joined the Big 10 because of stability and equal revenue sharing. If you don't get what I said, it's basically doubling down when you have 11 and the dealer has 3 in blackjack. Like, you have to do it, and it's the safest thing to do. But there is a reason they're in this list. While the move to the Big 10 increased Nebraska's revenue and institutional security, it removed the football program from a competitive environment that had historically supported its football success. In the Big 12, Nebraska benefited from rivalry games against Oklahoma and Colorado. P.S. That's a future video, by the way. And also, they had frequent exposure in talent-rich recruiting regions such as Texas, Oklahoma, and kind of Louisiana since it's in the area. I mean, I don't know if that's right. I kind of just made it up on the fly. I'm sorry. But you see, joining the Big 10 eliminated all of those advantages almost immediately. Nebraska lost its most significant rivals and reduced its regular presence in Texas and the recruiting pipeline. And on top of that, they joined a conference that was relatively far away from where they usually played, and teams in the Big 10 had a really different football style than what Nebraska was used to playing. I mean, these changes messed up kind of everything. They messed up their recruiting plans, the importance of their game schedules, and most importantly, they screwed up the team identity. Since moving to the Big 10, Nebraska's football team has had a really hard time just getting back to the top. They've had a lot of new coaches, and their performance on the field just really hasn't been up to par to what we've seen in the past. I mean, I'm a college kid, and I don't even remember the last time Nebraska had a good football team. And I mean, you really can't use history as much as an advantage because they did all of that in the Big 12. I mean, they haven't done anything in the Big 10. I mean, it's crazy to say that nobody fears Nebraska like they used to. Although Nebraska did achieve financial stability through realignment, the move just weakened the football program, and Nebraska just isn't dominant anymore because of their move to the Big 10. Basically, what I'm trying to say is Nebraska lost its tradition, its rivalries. They kind of lost everything in the move to the Big 10. But at the end of the day, only time will tell what Matt Rhule does with this Nebraska team. And the second team on this list is the West Virginia Mountaineers. You see, I was going back and forth between Pitt and West Virginia, but at the end of the day, I just chose WVU because, I felt like it, so learned to live with it. In 2012, West Virginia left the Big East Conference to join the Big 12, largely due to the collapse of the Big East Football Conference. Throughout the late 2000s and the early 2010s, the Big East lost several key football members to the ACC and Big Ten. For example, they lost teams like Syracuse, Pittsburgh, Louisville, Miami, and way more. You see, the Big East just lost a lot of media value and long-term viability within these football programs and the teams in them. Major teams just didn't want to be in the Big East because of its eventual collapse. So then, the conference announced it would no longer sponsor football at a major level, and this just sent West Virginia into a shock, kind of scrambling and running around. They're scared of losing the Power 5 status. And then guess what? The Big 12 swooped in and offered West Virginia a lifeline, providing access to stronger television revenue, long-term stability, and continued participation at the highest level of college football, which is the Power 5. So with Nebraska, we saw that it was like a strategic move, and for West Virginia, it was more reactive. And while joining the Big 12 preserved West Virginia's position in a major college football conference, the transition significantly altered the program's competitive environment. West Virginia just became an outlier. The shift eliminated long-standing regional rivalries. Most notably, it eliminated the backyard brawl against Pitt. And the backyard brawl still plays today, but there's really no implications on title conferences or anything like that, so it just doesn't really feel the same to me. And the lack of nearby opponents increased travel demands and removed natural cultural connections that had previously fueled intensity and consistency. And additionally, the Big 12's recruiting footprint just was not what West Virginia was used to, forcing the program to compete more directly in regions dominated by larger and more established in-state brands. Without consistent rivalry games or geographic alignment, the program has struggled to maintain the emotional and competitive momentum it once relied on. While fan engagement has been harder to sustain without traditional opponents, recruiting has become more diverse and less efficient. Although West Virginia has experienced periods of on-field success in the Big 12, the program has just lacked sustained national prominence and stability. Ultimately, conference realignment secured West Virginia's financial future joining a Power 5 conference, but it disrupted the structural and cultural foundations that had previously supported the program's football success. The next team on this list is the UCLA Bruins. And their whole situation, even now, just kind of made me want to make this video. So in 2024, the UCLA Bruins left the Pac-12 with USC to join the Big Ten Conference. And the reason for this move, you may ask? Well, mainly money. The decision was driven by financial necessity and long-term institutional security. And by the early 2020s, the Pac-12 was experiencing declining media revenue, repeated failures in television negotiations, and uncertainty about its long-term viability as a power conference. You see, UCLA's athletic department was operating with a significant budget deficit, so basically they were losing a lot of money. And conference leadership viewed Big Ten membership as a solution through substantially higher media payouts and financial stability. So basically, they're just going to make a lot more money in the Big Ten than the Pac-12. They say the move was not motivated by competitive alignment, but rather by economic survival and institutional pressure to remain competitive in the evolving landscape of college athletics. While joining the Big Ten offered financial relief, the decision removed UCLA from a conference environment that had historically supported its football identity. In the Pac-12, UCLA was geographically aligned with its opponents and maintained traditional rivalries. Transitioning to the Big Ten, it placed UCLA in a conference dominated by Midwestern and Eastern programs, requiring frequent cross-country travel and participation in a competitive culture that differed significantly from its historical norms. The long-term effects of the move to the Big Ten has negatively impacted UCLA's football program identity and competitive positioning. Increased travel demands have placed additional strain on players and staff, while the absence of consistent regional competition has reduced fan engagement and local relevance. And if you follow college football, you can just tell that nobody goes to UCLA games anymore. Competing in a conference with deeper football investment and entrenched recruiting powers has further challenged UCLA's ability to sustain momentum and visibility. Although the move secured financial stability for the athletic department, it has diluted the program's culture and competitive identity, making it more difficult for UCLA to stand out rather than just be a blend-in with the other teams. And it also has something to do with the on-field success with football. They're on their third coach in 10 years, but again, this video isn't about on-field success and all of that. It's kind of just about teams losing their identity, and that's why UCLA is on this list. And the last team on this list, it's kind of the funniest one, the Colorado Buffaloes. So originally, Colorado left the Big 12 Conference to join the Pac-12 in 2011, during a period of significant instability within the Big 12. And it was mainly for the same reasons Nebraska left the Big 12 for, so I'm not really going to go too deep into that, but again, basically because of Texas. And because of all that, Colorado administrators viewed the Big 12 as unstable and were concerned about long-term security and exposure. So the Pac-12, which was expanding at the time, decided to rebrand itself as a major national conference. It offered Colorado a more stable media future, increased access to West Coast markets, and it aligned with peer institutions in terms of academics and research. From an administrative standpoint, the move was intended to provide long-term stability and institutional prestige. While the move to the Pac-12 provided financial and institutional benefits, it removed Colorado from a competitive environment that had historically supported its football program. Joining the Pac-12 eliminated these rivalries and placed Colorado in a conference with limited historical or cultural connections to the program. The differences in play, recruiting, emphasis, and geographical distance created challenges in maintaining continuity and identity, and as a result, Colorado struggled to establish a clear competitive role within the Pac-12, often appearing disconnected from the conference's core football culture. The long-term consequences of the move became evident throughout prolonged inconsistency and declining national relevance, and losses on the field. Colorado experienced frequent coaching changes, uneven recruiting results, and limited sustained success during its time in the Pac-12. Without annual rivalry games or national geographic ties, fan engagement and media attention diminished. Even during occasional successful seasons, the program lacked the structural advantages it once possessed in the Big 12. The Pac-12 provided stability, but it didn't offer an environment for Colorado to build a team identity or have a competitive footing in the conference. But in 2024, Colorado returns to the Big 12. The move coincided with the collapse of the Pac-12 as a major football conference, and it reflected a broader shift toward regional alignment and competitive practicality. Return to the Big 12 restored access to familiar recruiting territories, renewed historic rivalries, and placed Colorado in a conference with greater geographic and cultural compatibility. While the long-term effects of the return remain ongoing, the decision represents an effort to reestablish structural advantages that were lost during its time in the Pac-12, and to position the football program for greater stability and relevance moving forward. I'm just going to talk, so if you want to leave the video, you can, but thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, give me a subscribe, or just kind of tell me in the comments what you liked, didn't like. It's still my second video, so I still want to kind of be the best I can be. And also I want to talk about just how much love I got in the last video. Thank you guys so much for everything, and I'm seriously just so appreciative and grateful for all the success that has come so far. So thank you guys, and expect more uploads. And I'm uploading this on the 26th, so Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to those who celebrate.